Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome back to another stream of mine. So, who do we have already here? Hello, Benjamin. Hello, Mr. Dan Angelo, maybe. Hello to all the other guys who are already here. Adrian is here, of course, as well. Hello, my friends. And yeah, it's nice to have you here again for another stream. And of course, again, we are going to work on our little refactoring PHP platform. So let's bring in my screen. Here we go. All right. So you can see me, you can hear me. Yes, it seems so. Okay, good. So we have currently 4 people watching. Maybe there will be more, we don't know, but I'm glad for every one of you who is already here. And again, yeah, we're working on this refactoring PHP platform where people can provide code snippets and then other users can provide so-called solutions, which are different versions of the code, refactored versions of the code. So maybe you have an idea how you could write this code snippet in a better way regarding simplicity or maintenance, and all other kind of ideas, and then you can start them. And we have this kind of voting. So I'm pretty sure most of you already know what we do and how this goes. But if you have any questions regarding what I do here on the stream, this project, me coding, PHP store, my shortcuts, everything, just ask in the comments. I will try to look every now and then into the comments, and I would love to have here a kind of discussion and conversation. So it's nice if you can interact here as well. Okay, so hello Samuel, and as Adrian mentioned, with which bug do we start today? So the last 2 streams, we started with some strange bugs which I didn't have before, but let's see if everything is working for now. So let me start by running all of our tests here. Looks good. Almost 170 assertions, so that's nice. And let's also try everything here out as well. So let's create a new snippet. Test snippet number 4. Test 4. We have it here, but I already have seen that we don't clear out the form. So I think this is one of the things we need to check today. And let's also create here one of the solutions. And let's see if this works too. Okay, it looks good. And I can vote here, and and the solutions get reordered as well. Okay, nice. So it seems we don't have any bugs to start with, but I'm sure they will come later. Okay, so here we have our to-do list. So as you can see, we have already checked off a lot of them. In the last stream, what did we do? We were showing the solution count on the homepage. So let's get back here. And here we can see how many solutions this snippet has and who has created this code snippet. So that's what we did the last time, and who created it. So what do we have on our list? Show user who created the solution. Okay, so it seems we're not showing currently who created the solution. So let's add this as well. Clear code snippet form after created. So that's what I have shown you before, that when we here on the homepage, if I'm going to create a new snippet and I edit, the form is still filled out. Test to check that the name field error is shown. Okay, let me check this real quick here. So if I don't fill the name field, we see some kind of error, but it seems maybe we don't have a test for this. So maybe we could check this as well and add a success message after adding a code snippet. So I've been thinking about This also for the LiveStream, so that when we submit something, we want to see somewhere that this code snippet was created. So maybe we're going to add some kind of banner here at the top, something like this. Yeah, but let's start with those other to-dos first. So is everybody good in the comments? Yeah, looks like. Okay, then let's get started. Show user who created the solution. Okay, so this means inside here we also want to show who created the solution, and maybe let's just add it here to this line for now. All right, and as always, we're going to start with a test. So let's see, we have a Livewire component called solutions. And this component is responsible for showing all those solutions. All right, and we have a test. It stores, and let's check out all the tests. I'm looking for a similar test one that we can copy. It clears out content field of the successful. It shows solution form. It includes code snippet is required, content is required. It includes. Okay, then let's start with a new one here. So let me see. It stores code snippet solution database. Maybe after this one. Yeah, so let's start here. This will be a Livewire test, and we're going to call it, it shows user who created the solution. Okay, we're going to test our solution Livewire component. That's this one here. And yeah, so what do we want to do? We want to assert that we see something, and let's call this test user. And let's start here by running this test, and we already know that it will fail. So failed asserting that inside this HTML we see test user. Okay, we don't see this yet. But we also don't have any solutions yet because we haven't passed any of those in here. So let's see. We need, of course, a code snippet, and we also need a solution. So let's see here. Do we already create here some solutions? Create a code snippet and solution here. So let's copy this one. So this means we need a code snippet. And then we're going to create a solution. We're going to add it to this code snippet. And now we need to add the code snippet to our Livewire component. And let me check real quick. So first we're passing in here the code snippet, but we're also setting it here. So my first assumption would be that we don't need both of them. Let me try this out real quick. So the test is passing. So let's get rid of this line here. And it's still passing. Okay. So that's what I thought. We only need to pass in the code snippet here. All right. So this means here we also want to do the same. When we test our solutions component, we're also passing this code snippet. So this means now we have one solution here. Okay, but still we don't see our user yet. Okay, so test is still failing. Okay, so I already know that we first need to log in with a user, because without being logged in with a user, we can't. Sorry, let me check. Do we need to log in user? No, sorry. What do we want to? We want to add a user to a solution. Okay, I think that's the issue here. Let me check it real quick, but I think that's the same what we had before. with our code snippets because we haven't. Let me just log in here to my table plus connection. Laravel relay refactoring PHP. Yeah, so let's bring this in here. So yeah, so as before, we have the solution connected to a code snippet, but we don't have it connected to a user. So we need to take care of this as well now. Let's see, do we have any comments so far? No, everybody good. Okay, that's fine. So this means we need to check where we store a solution, and then we need to make sure that we're also storing the user. So here in the first test, it stores code snippet solution inside the database. So here we are making sure what is being stored, and yeah, let's add something here. So every solution is provided by a different user. So we need to connect a user ID to the solution. And let's see, let's use one. Okay, so if we run this test now, it will fail because we're not seeing the user ID in the database yet. Okay, so this means, what does this mean? We need to log in with a user first, because now we're logging in with a user, and then with this user, we're going to create and store a new solution, and that's how we get the user ID. So this means we're acting as a specific user, and we just create a new one through a factory like this. And since it's the first user, I assume that the user ID should be 1. Okay, let's give this a try. And it's still failing. So we see this code snippet inside the database, but we don't see the user ID. Okay, so the first thing that came to my mind why this could be an issue could be because inside our model, we need to add the user ID to the fillable array. Okay, because without this being here, we don't get the user ID inside the database. Let's give this a try. Okay, it's still not working. And I think now it's because we haven't added it to our solution yet. So inside our solution component, yeah, so here we're storing our solution. Here we also need to add the user ID to the array to create the solution. So let's grab the ID from the authenticated user. And I think this should make this test pass. No, let's see what we have. General table solution has no column user ID. Okay, so another thing that we haven't done yet is we haven't added the field to our solutions table. Create solutions table. Yeah. And let's create a foreign ID for the user. And let's bring in model and let's clean up the code. Yeah, so this is one of those methods which we also have been using in the last episode, where we can make a foreign key for a specific class, which is really nice because now I can just write the user class and I have auto-completion so that I don't run into any typing errors here. And if we refactor something, it would be changed here as well. Okay, let's give it another try, and now it's passing. So this means now we have the user associated inside our solutions table. Okay, let's go back to our other test now. It shows user who created the solution. And let's check again. We're creating the code snippet. We are creating the solution. I might come up with some kind of helper method for creating a code snippet or solution, or maybe I combine it in one chained method calls because it takes a lot of place. But let's make this password first. Let's run this test now. Okay, we again get an SQL error. Not null constraint for the user ID. So this means we're not passing a user ID in our query. So let's check this. We have content, code snippet ID, updated, created, but we're not passing in the user ID. Let's see, we already have some comments here. Yeah, right. So we're talking about if I'm going to make it open source. So actually, I've been thinking about it today, just before the stream, and I haven't decided it yet. Let's put it like this. So I think it makes sense to make it open source so that people who watch the streams can also check the code, and I think this would be very beneficial to them. Also, maybe some of you could add some features, especially when it's live and when there is more work to do. So that's why I'm probably going to make it. But yeah, I'm making it public also means for me that it's more, yeah, let's say more work for me, and more things that I have to think of. If there's an issue, if there's a PR, I have to check it, and that's always something that you need to consider before going live with a repository, because I don't want to make it open source and then not maintaining it or replying to any questions or issues. So that's why I want to, yeah, think about this a little bit longer, and I think I'm going to decide it before we release the first version, which I hope will be pretty soon because I want to bring this out. Let's see what is Adrian saying on this test pop-up. What does happen if you click on the three dots beside the importating? Let's check this real quick. So let's run a test which we haven't run yet. So I think this is one of them. Nope. This one, yeah. So currently, if I'm using my shortcut for running run context configuration, every time I'm going, this pop-up is going to open up. And the issue here now is because the default interpreter is not being used, which should be 802. So let's see. Adrian was saying that I could check here what is being used. So yeah, I have already here the correct version, which is also the correct path to my PHP. So this should work, but I don't know why it does not work. In every other project for me, this is working without open up this dialog every time. But let's check again. Yeah. Okay, I see. So it seems the default interpreter is not the one which I have been that I want to use, which is PHP 802. But I think we've checked the last time that it is already set to the correct PHP version. Oh yeah, that's nice, by the way. So PHP Storm, the new release, changed the PHP setting to be at top of those settings here. So not at the bottom like it was before, which is, I think, yeah, quite nice. Okay, so we're using PHP 8 and the command line interpreter is, yeah, 802, like it should be, but still it does not work. So if you have an idea what this could be, I don't know what else it could be. So this is really strange. The solution factory is missing the user ID column. let's check again the solution factory. So, oh yeah, that's a good point. Good catch here. So this means here in our test where we create the code snippet and the solution, we also need to make sure that there is a specific user. So let's, excuse me, let's also create a new user. So again, we're using the factory. Let's create a new user. And then let's just use this user ID. And we're also testing to, wait, am I in the wrong test here? I am in the wrong test. Sorry, guys. Let's make sure this is still working. Nope, it's not, but it's the same. Okay, so we also need it here. So actually, we still could keep it here because we need to have a user now as well for creating this solution. Let's check again. Yeah, okay, this test is now passing, and now let's get back to our other test. It shows user who created the solution. So this means we need here a user as well. And we also need here, when we create our solution, we provide the user ID from the user. Okay, I know that it still will fail because we're looking for a specific user, but let's try this first to see what the error is. Yeah, so we're looking for the test user, which we don't see, but I think we should see. I'm not sure if we have already added it to our view file yet. Yeah, so I don't think so. So let's make sure that we do this now. So this means inside our solutions, let me just get rid of this comment here. Inside our solutions component where we loop over the solutions, let's just start simple here by getting out the name of solution. Okay, so the solution needs a relationship to the user, which we also don't have yet. So, but let's assume how this should work. We want to access the user relationship and then call the name. Okay, back in our test, it will still be fail. And now we're trying to read property name on null. So this means now inside our solution model, we need to provide a new relationship for the user. It's a belongs to relationship. And the return belongs to a specific user, like this. Okay, let's run our test again. It's failing again, but now I think we should see username, and we do. So this means now we can override here where we create the user, and let's say that the name should be test user. So this should be one way how we can handle this. But now when I think about it, actually we don't care what the name is. And if we don't care what it is, I like to get rid of it. So this means we're just accessing it directly from the user. And this should work as well. Okay, perfect. Maybe some issue in the idea folder. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think someone mentioned this also in the last stream, that he deleted that and then it worked again. Let me check again. Should the idea folder be inside this repository? Also, not inside the repository, but inside here, right? Let me check real quick. So, oh, actually, I could have used the terminal of PHP Storm, but I was working today before with Hyper, so I think that's why I thought of using Hyper now. So I'm not 100% sure how it works with the .idea folder, but I know it's a configuration folder of PHP store. So can I just delete this folder and then it will be created automatically? Yeah, we could also do that. That's true, but if I can just delete it and then we can try it again. And then I think we could try it here as well. So yeah, all of our solutions will need this additional, but we're going to run all of our tests and then we will see this. So we should close PHP Storm before deleting the idea folder. Okay, then okay, maybe I'm really going to do this after the stream just to make sure we don't run into some strange issues again during the stream, which is not too helpful for you. Okay, but now let's get back to our test. So we should see now some other tests failing because, yeah, we are working with solutions where we haven't used any user. So here as well. So Adrian was mentioning if it makes sense to, where was it, to add a user to the factory itself. So yeah, so this means inside our solution factory, what we could do is we could add here already a user. What I don't like about this is that when you use the solution factory, it's not clear that a user is being created in the back, and if you then maybe do some tests with some users and then you end up with more users in the database than you thought you would have, this could lead to some issues. So that's why in the past with my custom factory classes, I probably would have used a kind of helper method like create solution with user. But let me think again. So we can't create a solution without a user. Yeah, so maybe because we can't create it without the user, it maybe makes sense to really create it here and then to override it if we want to override the user. Because that makes no sense to create now a solution without a user. Or what we also could do is we make the user nullable, the user ID in the database, but yeah, actually we don't want to do that. Kai is here for the shitpost. I'm glad you're here, Kai. Yeah, let's get started. Fire up. What is Benjamin saying? You're gonna lose all specifics for the project as well as index files, so fans may turn on. Okay, so yeah, I think we're not going to do this during the stream, we're going to do this later. This always feels like I'm intruding into a private conversation between Christopher and Adrian. Yeah, it often feels so, but but Benjamin is here too and often get him as well. But yeah, Adrian is quite active and always has a lot to say, and I appreciate that. But we have time slots for your comments as well, Kai. So don't be afraid. So let's move on now. Yeah, so we can. So yeah, so I think it's a good idea in the end to create the user in the factory for solution because we need the user in order to create a solution. So let's try this out. So what we could do is for the user ID, we're going to add here a factory class. So we don't need to create it because Laravel will do this automatically. They might have come up with this idea after checking what Adrian and I have done in our factory package, but yeah, we probably will never know. Okay, does this mean our tests are already passing? I think so, but let's give it a try. Okay, this looks good. Only one test is failing. Let's check which one it is. It clears out content field after successful created solution. Okay, let's check the error again. Okay, I really have going to delete the idea folder after the stream right away. So what's happening here is not null constraint for the user ID. So why do we have here a solution? And where do we have the solution? We only create here a code snippet. Okay, I see. So the issue here is that we are creating a solution through the form and we don't have a user logged in. So this means we're going to acting as a new user. Again, we're using the factory. And this is now passing. Now let's check again all other tests here. All right, everything is green, which is good, but let me get back to our solution test here. So this means, where have we created a user just for having a snippet? Because I think we can now delete this here. So here we're checking for the database, that's fine. Here we're acting as a specific user. Yes, or here. So I think we can we get rid of the user, or do we need this here later? Yeah, because we're checking the name of the user. So I'm thinking now, because we've added now that the user is created every time we create a factory. But now in this case, we want to make sure that we know what user it is so we can check the name. So this means I think we should leave here where we override the user, because I don't think there's a way to delete this. But now, of course, we could grab the user from the database because there will be only one user in a database, but I think it's not obvious then anymore. So I think we can keep it like that. Oh, Gertchen is here now too. The crew is ready. That's nice having you here. I hope you are well as fine. Why am I mixing state and create to override fields? Let me check about this. So here I'm using the state to override the name and the content. And what do you mean now where I'm mixing it to override fields? So did you just mean that sometimes I'm using the create method to, okay, now I get it. So sometimes I'm using the create method to override something, and sometimes I'm using the state here. Good question. I don't know, actually. I think initially I prefer using the create method, because for me the state, yeah, somehow I don't like the state method, because what does it give me a specific state of my code snippet? Yeah, in some kind, but somehow I think I prefer. But yeah, it seems like I'm mixing it. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that so far. Yeah, so I think I'm going to keep it for now. Okay, so what did we do so far? Show solution. user and store user ID with solution. All right, let's check real quick. Is there any issue? Nope. Not a big one for now. Okay, so this means here we could check off our first to-do. Show user who created the solution. Okay, that's nice. But let's also check in the browser. Not sure if you run into any issues here. Yeah, we do. So we attempt to read property name on null. So this means because we have now inside our database some solutions. Oh, we haven't refreshed it yet, by the way, the migration. So let's do this as well. PHP artisan migrate fresh seed. Okay, so this means now we already get code snippets with users. So this means we now also should see the name of every solution. That's nice. All right, let's move on. What's next? Clear out code snippet form after created. So this means on our homepage, if I am logged in, which I'm not currently, my fancy password, here we go. So if we create now a new snippet, it's being created here, but we don't clear out our form. So let's write a test for this. So Benjamin, the first time I'm seeing this data, I always used to create and pass the array there. Yeah, maybe you also prefer the create method. I wonder if there's any benefit. I think the benefit is with the state you could define it without creating it. But then I think you could also run the make method and pass the array there as well. So I think it just comes down to your personal preference. State is better to refactor later into real states on the factory class itself. Let's check real quick. So how does this work with the new factories in Laravel? Factory states. Okay, I see. So this looks like we can, similar to what I've done in the my factors package, we can create a method where we access the state and change it. I think this could be nice. Let's see, what else do we have? Factory callbacks. Let's see where we're going to use them. Okay, here we're going to use one of those states. Okay, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, let's check this out real quick, because that's why we're here for, checking some of these details, start discussing it, and see what we like most. So here we've been using the state. So why do we need the state here? We have one code snippet, we have two solutions, and here we're making sure that we want to see those snippets. Okay, so that's why we want to define it directly so that we can use it here. So yeah, so here we define the first and here the second one. And inside this test now, if you take a look at this test, you can see that we've defined the content, and you can see that we're looking for this, which I like. But would there be a better way to do this? So I probably could create a solution and just provide a name. More interesting here, we don't care about we care about the code snippet at the, yeah, so we do care. I was thinking if we could delete at least this one line here, but we want to make sure that this solution is connected to a specific code snippet. So this means what we could do here is probably create some kind of method like create code snippet with solution. So something like that. I would have been using it before in a different package, and then we could say to, or maybe just count to, something like this. But in this case here, we want to make sure that we see what the name of the snippet is, or at least at some part of the snippet that we want to check here. So that's why I don't think it makes sense to here hide everything behind a method. Can you do the same with create? Yeah, so I think that what we've been discussing that before, so that everything that we provided to the state, we actually also could provide it to the create method. I think that's what you mean. So the code snippet factory could have a state with solution. So this means now we could run, how would this look like? Something like this with solution. And then we could create in the back the solutions, but still we want to make sure that we see some kind of the name of the solution. So that's my concern here. I want to make sure that it's clear when someone sees this test that we're defining a specific content for the solutions, and then we're going to assert that we see it. So that's why I want to make sure that we see this here in the test. Let me think. Is there a better way to do this? Let's get rid of this. Of course we could pass in like 1.1 and maybe 2. Let's see, do we have access to what we pass in here? I think so, right? Like it suspended. Okay, it seems that we, okay, this does not work. So we have access to the other attributes, but we don't have access to what we pass in here. Or, no, that's a method that we can define. So I think we can easily pass something in here and then use it here as well. So I think this should work. Does this make sense to do it like this? So let's take a look. We create a code snippet with solutions maybe, and then we provide here content 1 and content 2. So it's not immediately clear what those two strings are, which we are passing like this. So that's why I'm not fully on page here. Let's see, what ideas do you have? Yeah, but that's okay. I like to think about those details, and I think it's good to discuss about this. And it's also something that I noticed myself, that I didn't like how we ended up with all those big chunks of creating stuff that we need in the test. And in the last streams, we always said we want to make it work, and then we're going to refactor it later. But maybe it's time to do a little bit of refactoring, or at least discuss it, because it could be that we just say it's okay like this and we don't change it, then it's fine as well. Yeah, so this I could do just for keeping it consistent, but it doesn't change like the lines of code that we have here, or make it super more obvious. So let's go back to where it was. Okay, what I like about getting rid of putting this in the state method is that we now get rid at least of the state method. So yeah, I do think that this is now a little bit better to read than like this. So let's try this here as well. So that's some small improvements here, but we're going little baby steps. Wait, did I just copy this? Here we go. And let's do this here as well. Okay, let's run this test to make sure it's still passing. Okay, let's take a look. So we're still creating the code snippet. Now that I see it, do we care about what is inside the code snippet? Nope, we don't. So I assume, or I hope that we have some default value. Let's try this out. Okay, still passing. That's better for sure, right? So let's call this all arrange here. So we have a code snippet, we have two solutions. So I'm not too big of a fan that we still have to create both of them here separately because it takes a lot of line and is distracting. But yeah, as mentioned, we want to make sure that we pass this in here. So I think let's keep it like that. But let's also check out the other methods here. Hello, Dapeshit. How about making it multi-tenant, multi-database aware? Okay, well, let me think about this. Multi-tenant. Why would I want to do this? So I have never worked with a multi-tenant database before, to be honest, just because the project I've been working on didn't need it. What could be a benefit for this project to use it? So I mostly see people using it if there are kind of different teams or different companies, and then they have their own users and their own data. So I'm not sure what the benefit here could be, but let me know. User have their own database as experience, maybe. Yeah, for experience, it could be nice because I've never done it before, but I don't think that it's necessary now. So I think for something like that, I would only do it if I see like I really need it and it brings me some benefit, especially now with this MVP here where we want to go fast. Okay, we're not going too fast here on this application, but actually it was the goal to go fast and release soon. So yeah, I'll give it some more thoughts, but I don't want to do it now, I think. So okay, let's keep talking about this a little bit. The user have their own subdomain and can share it. Let me see. Users have their own subdomain. So an own subdomain could make sense, for example, if there are user pages. So currently we don't have a user page. Will there be user pages? Yeah, there might be user pages. Yeah, true. So maybe we have this user, and then you can click it, then you can see all the code snippets of this user. Would make sense, but I don't see this app just being about these users or different kind of groups. What I'm mostly interested with this project is having this kind of homepage where everything is around the snippet. So someone provides a snippet and then people come and see, okay, how can we make this snippet better, cleaner, easier, better maintainable, and then people here come up with different ideas. So I'm thinking about, like, if you remember, there was what Adam Wetton did some years ago. He was taking one of the, I think it was kind of a code challenge to refactor some piece of code, and I think it was actually from Ruby, and then he created a PHP version of it and then did a video on refactoring it. And then a lot of other people came up with ideas how to refactor it as well with different solution. And that's my main goal here. So also people provide some code snippet and then others come here and provide some different solutions and yeah, bring in this kind of exchange regarding snippets and just discussing about code. I mean, have a subdomain that summarizes all my snippets user can browse. Yeah, of course, it would make sense in that regards. And maybe we're going to do this in the future, but I think for now I would go with just an easy approach. But yeah, regarding this, it could make sense. Yeah, so that's what I'm currently thinking of, what we could do, which will be like a kind of first approach if we want to go this way, and then we could move on from there. Okay, let's go back here. Let's refactor some other test methods here. So it shows user who created the solution. Let's see what we're checking here. We're only checking the username. So what does this mean? We don't care about the content, right? And let's also bring this out here. Still working? Yes, good. So we need the user ID and we need the code snippet ID. Yeah, right. Okay. Let's do this here as well. Let's bring this out here. And let's test this. Okay, still working. Good. What's next? Here we are creating a user. We're acting as a user. We are, let's bring this up here. That's also part of our arranging part here. Logging in as a user, create a code snippet. Okay, there's nothing more we can do about this. Okay, what here? It stores code snippet solution in database. Okay, this also looks pretty clean. This is part of the arrange method. Here we have a test which we do before rearrange and then act, which I think is fine as well. Okay, this looks good. Do we have something down here? Yeah, so here. Let's also copy this out here, cut this out, get rid of the state method. So now we again also only have one method, which I think looks a little bit nice, more nicely, nicer. I think nicer is the word I was looking for. Okay, still passing. So what are we checking here? Okay, we assert that the Livewire component is given. So this means I don't care about the content, and I also don't care about the snippet here, right? Yes, right. Much better. What's next? What are we checking here? We're checking if we see this start button, and we see test snippet 1 before test snippet 2. Okay, so this means we need test snippet 2 and 1. But again, we could, we're using the wrong shortcut here. We can get rid of the state method again. And yes, bum, bum, bum. Do you notice? Bum, 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 is the signature bum bum of Freek, which he does all the time during his live streams when he thinks about something. Bum, 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 bum. We should do some kind of drinking game every time Freek says that everyone has to drink. Okay, what's next? I think the rest looks good here. Let's run all of the tests in this file. All good. Nice. Okay, let's create a new commit. Refactor solutions test. All right. Anything happened here in the meantime? What's Nuno's signature move? That's a good question. Nuno. I'm pretty sure he also has one. I guess I have to check again, but I'm pretty sure there was also something. What's my signature move? What am I doing all the time? Maybe without noticing me. But don't say providing bugs, because that does not count. Do I have a signature move? I don't know. You have to tell me. Hello, Samuel. Nice to have you here as well again. So we've been currently refactoring some of the tests, and since we're already doing this, let's move on and do this also for the code snippet tests. I think it's a good time here now to clean everything a little bit up. Of course, this is against the we're going fast MVP approach, but I like it cleaner here. So let's see, what do we have here? So first, I'm always checking what we're going to check, and then it will tell me what we need to create and what we need to see for our factories. So here we are checking name and content of the code snippet. So this means, okay, we're setting here the name and the content. And let's bring this down here. This is also part of our range. Range act, and this is also range and act. Okay, so this looks good. I don't think we can refactor something here. Let's move on. This also looks pretty clean. We are providing the name of the user because we're then checking it. Okay, I'm fine with this. Okay, so here we have some code snippet. It shows given code snippets. Code snippet 1, code snippet 2, and we are checking to see the name and also the contents. Yeah. So that's fine here. We can't do anything about this. It shows solution count for snippets. Okay. First we have, well, let's check again what we're actually checking. We're checking for 1 solutions. That's the only thing which we're checking. Okay, so this means we should be able to get rid of the content of our snippets here because we don't check them. Is that true? Yes, it is. Okay, nice. Then we also get rid of those state methods. So that's good. So I don't think that create is better than using state, but I like that we can get rid of the state method and now only have one, and we need the create method. So that's why I think that's good how we do this here. And here as well, remove our state method, and the tests look good. Okay, let's move on. This looks pretty simple. This as well. Okay, here too, nothing fancy. This all looks good. Okay, nice. Let's run this again. Again, I'm seeing this dialog every time that I run a test, which I haven't run lately. because I have an issue here with my PHP interpreter, and I'm going to try to handle this after the stream by deleting the Laravel idea or the PHP Storm idea directory. Okay, so it seems like everything is still working. Let's make sure that the other paths are also still passing. They should. Okay. I think it's time to move on, but let's also do another commit here, refactor code snippet tests. Are there any issues? Okay, let's get rid of those imports that we don't need. Let's try this again. And those two errors we don't care about. All right. Let's go back to our to-do list. So what's happening here? Hello, Nathan. Nice to have you here too. Can you check your div? I think you inserted a random char. Did I? I should have done this before I committed this. Do we have my changes somewhere? Where's my shortcut for this? H. Okay. I think I should see it here if I added something incorrectly. Okay, that's what I did before. I think I maybe should check this here. This is always the same. Okay, that's something that Adrian needs to tell me. I haven't been using this local history in a long time. So it looks like I only see always the same changes here. Why is that? So these are different changes, but what change is that? Why don't I see this compared to this one? Okay, let me try this. Git reset soft head. Okay, let's check again. That's also only the commit I did before, right? Oh, okay. So here we added this range. What else? I deleted the state. It's a little bit difficult to see here on this low resolution screen now. Okay, I don't see anything. I think we're going to leave it and maybe run into an issue later and see that then. Okay, so what's next? Get a code snippet after the form created. Okay, so this means inside our code snippet, our code snippets Livewire. Oh no, we want to go to the test. Livewire code snippet test. Again, let's see if we have a similar one. Okay, here we're going to store a code snippet. So that's a good starting point because we want to store a snippet and then make sure and the fields get clear out. It clears out code snippet from fields after snippet creation. Okay, something like that. So we don't care about this. Here we need a user. We're going to call the submit method. And then what we want we want to make sure assert, I think it's assert set here. So the name should now be empty. And this test should fail now. Fails asserting the expected, it's empty, but actually it's test snippet. Okay. So this means let's go to our code snippet. Here we're going to submit it. And then we can reset it. So this means this name should make it empty. Okay, this looks good, but we also have our content. So let's set content should also be empty. And it should fill now. That's good. And now let's open it. Here, content. And let's open it now, and it works. Okay. Is there some kind of Livewire feature to just clear out some properties? So Benjamin still saw the error. PHP Storm was warning you about the errors. Yes, I think what you meant was where do we have this? I think it was in a code snippets test, right? So I think I was just providing some kind of, yeah, so is this actually an error, or does just PHP thinks there's something connected to PHP? No. Okay, so I think that this is not an error and just PHP Storm thinks it is, because I'm trying to write some PHP code, but since the test is still passing, I don't think this is an issue. So name and content should be empty. Okay, I think that's what I've done. Oh yeah, this reset. This is nice. Thank you guys. I thought there was something like this. This resets the name contents. Okay. Let's check if it's still working. This must be a code snippet test. Which one was it? It clears out. Yeah, this one here. Okay, nice, still working. Okay, that's good. This reset takes them all back, or you can pass a prop name. Okay, so this means that I could just use the reset method and it would reset all the properties. Wait, I'm checking if the content is empty. Not if content is empty too. I think I do this, Adrian. Okay, so let's give it also a try on the browser. Test 5, submit it. We have our code snippet and everything is cleared up. All right, nice. So this means, let's bring back this in here. Let's make another commit. Clear out form fields after code snippet created. Is there anything we need to take care of? Okay, we don't need this. It's nice. Unused local Laravel exception. Yeah, that's something I can live with. Okay, the reset method will indeed reset all public properties. Yeah, so I think I'd prefer to actually pass an array showing what I want to reset, just to make sure that I don't run into some issues and that it's more obvious. Okay, 1 hour, 14 minutes in. What's next? Test to check the name field error is shown. Okay, so we have seen that we see an error if we don't provide a name. Name is required, and it seems like we don't have written a test for this. Let's give this a look. Code snippet test. It shows error message for missing name. Okay, it seems like we already have that. Yep. Let me check again. Test to check the name field error is shown. Yeah, okay. What's next? Add a success message after adding the code snippet. Okay, let's think about this real quick. So we are creating a snippet. And since we're using Livewire, of course, everything is happening through JavaScript, so there's no refresh in the browser. So this means we need to show the user that we created a snippet. I think we don't show any message currently. No, so we just clear out the form. Okay, so how do we want to deal with this? So the first idea that would come to my mind would be some kind of alert notification banner at the top or at the bottom saying this code snippet was created, and then maybe it has an X and you can click it away. What we also could do is here beside the form, we could add a message like code snippet was created successfully. I think this would be the easier option for now. So, good question. Why isn't it sorted by latest? So This means currently it's sorted by the first. Okay, that's a good point. Let's do this as well. Sort snippets by latest. Good catch, Adrian. Let's see. Again, we want to write a test, and we have some nice helper methods for that, which we have seen. So we already have something here regarding the order. Okay. Then let's see, we need at least 2 code snippets. I want to have it before this required methods. So let's put it in here. I want to do a Livewire test, which is a snippet that I have and use in PHP Storm. And it orders code snippets from latest to first. And we want to test again our code snippet Livewire component. And how do we test this? Here we're going to set some code snippets. Okay, it seems like are we not passing the code snippets to our code snippets component? Let me check. We have a code snippets component, and in there we have a collection of code snippets. Okay. Yeah, maybe not the best naming here, but okay. It works. So this means we need 2 snippets again. So we care about the name. We don't care about the content. Oh, it seems we still have some state methods here, which we of course don't want to use. So let's get rid of them here. And we don't care about the content here either. So this means we have code snippet 1 and code snippet 2. Then we need to set them. Code snippets. And we're going to load all of them here as well. Yeah. And then let's try out now this method, which turns out already exists in Livewire, which was called assert C in order. So that's very similar to the helper message that we have created, but this one already comes with Livewire. So let's see how this works. I would assume that the first things is what I see first. So since we're creating this one and then this one, we want to make sure that we see our second one first. And then the first one. Okay, let's see what this gives us. Failed asserting that we have code snippet 1. We have code snippet 2. Okay, so the order is wrong. This means now, how and when do we want to order them? How do we actually get them? Let's start by this. So where do we use this component? So yeah, so here we have, no, that's our solution component. We want home. Yeah, okay, so here we're loading the code snippets. And let's see, yeah, here we are getting all all of them. Why do we pass the code snippets to the component? We could drop the public property and just add it to the view. Let me check what you mean. We could drop the public property. So we could drop this public property code snippets and just add it here to the view. So what does this mean? Does this mean we then could get rid of providing the code snippet to the component itself? I think so. Let's give this a try. So we're going to get rid of them. Okay, but we have this in the mount method. How do we get this then to the render method? I think we then would need to call this in the render method. How have you? Let me check. We could drop the public property and just add it to the view. So this means we would just call this probably like this here. Code snippets. Like this. Let's see what our tests are saying. Okay, we see some errors, no property found. Okay, so this means probably because we are setting here the snippet. Well, let's check again. What's the issue here now? No property found for validation. Okay, let's check again. We are using. Do we need to validate the code snippet? Actually, I don't think so. Let's try this again. Probably not found. Okay, so after we have created a snippet, we're going to add it to our collection so that we see the change. But now, since we collect all of them in the view, I think it should work to make it, to use it like this, right? All right. Still have some errors, but property. Yeah, so I think these are now where we set the code snippet. Yeah, so I think we don't need to set it now here anymore, since we are creating two snippets here, and inside the component we are loading all of them. Right. Let's just run the whole class. And let's do the same here. We don't need to set this here, right? And also here. Okay, and here as well. Let's see. Okay, failed asserting that contains one solution. Okay, let's start with this test again to concentrate on this one. Okay, so we don't see this anymore. Let's bring this back. So what did I delete here? We provide the code snippets, but we don't need to do this anymore. So why don't we see our star when we run this now? Okay, so we see the star, but we don't see the count. So why don't we see the count? Let's get rid of this here. So it counts the solution. So where does it count this? Where do we have this? So let's bring back our view. So we're providing all of our code snippets like this to the view. Here we have the view. Here we have access to the code snippet, which we call code snippet. So we're looping over this here. And then we're going to run the solutions relationship and count it. But he thinks that we don't have a solution for the snippet. So here is our code snippet. Here we create another one. Why do we need two snippets here? Snippet 1 and snippet 2. First we check that we don't see a solution, so this seems to... Let me check which one is the one failing. Contains one solution. So the second one here is which is failing. Have you already seen it? Let's check real quick. The solutions only fetched in the mount method. Have we fetched them in the mount method? I don't. Did we catch them before? Something like this with solutions. Can I then still call the all method? Let's give this a try. I'm not sure about this. Okay, we don't can call the all method now. We need to call get method now. Call to undefined relationship on the model. Okay, now I'm confused. Call to undefined relationship app models solution on model code snippet. But every code snippet has solutions, right? It has. Okay, guys, help me out here. I think I'm missing something. You also got an n+1 problem now on this because the random method never got triggered between the first assertion and the next one. Because the random method never got triggered between the first assertion and the second one. I see what you mean. Your test now failed because before you're setting the solutions by hand. Oh, and I did do this wrong. Really have to create a PR for this. Passing in a string. 2021. All right, now let's try this again. Does this solve our test already? No. Okay, so this means this is not yet solving our issue. Let me check again what I do here, guys. I create our first code snippet number 1. Then I create a second code snippet. Okay, so we have 2 code snippets. Now I create my Livewire components. In the back now, in the render method, we are going to load. We are going to load this here. Let's see what we get here. So we get a collection with 2 arrays, 2 snippets, and relation solutions, empty for the first one. Okay, empty for the first one, but we are now creating a new solution. Okay, I think I now know what you mean, Gertchen. So here we are setting the solution, but we need to call the render method again. So this means for our test here, what I could do is I could call it again. Is this better now? Let's see. Solutions here. Okay, that's the first one. That's fine, but we're interested in the second one here, which is also empty. Okay, but now if I call this again, now I should see. Okay, we should see now it's failing for the first one. So this means if I get rid of this, I think it should work. Okay. Okay. Let's check if the tests are passing and then take a look again. Okay, that's the one we were actually wanted to test. So, but let's go back here to the code snippet. Is it a good idea to do this inside the render method? Calling the code snippet. Is this better than using the mount method, which I've done before, and then using a property? So I'm not sure if it's better. Okay, Adrian, why is this way better? With the mount method, you store the collection and send it to the front end as a JavaScript object. Okay, so you mean like it's a little bit cleaner because we don't need to send it to JavaScript anymore. But aren't we sending it anyway through JavaScript with the view? Okay, no, because the view is rendered before. Okay, I see. Okay, makes sense now. Yeah, so everything that's public inside a Livewire component is being sent to the browser. All right. Okay, something else I just noticed, it seems like you guys are much faster today with replying. So can we try our famous start test again? I say start and then you write a comment when you hear it and I will count the time. So do I have some kind of countdown here on my watch? No, that's an alarm. Oh my God. Okay, let's use something on the browser again. Seconds. Okay, we're going to start at 30. 1, start. Okay. It was still like 15 seconds. Okay, for me it seemed like you guys are replying much faster today, but maybe that was not the case. Still, thanks for testing. All right, okay. But I get it now. We don't send it to the browser every time, now that we have it in our render method. Okay, good. Let's check if everything is still passing. I think we still have an error about our order. Yeah. So this means we need to order this now as well. So I always forget about this, but I think it's, or did we already had something? I think we were already using something like latest, right? Was it this method? Let's give this a try. Oh no, I think latest just gave us just the latest one, right? No, order by created at latest. Actually, that's what I wanted to do, right? Our column, we haven't defined one, so it's created at and descending. Oh, okay, we don't see anything. That's why it's not working. So what did I do wrong here? Do we still need that method? Oh yeah, I think that was the issue. Okay, this looks now much better. Failed asserting that failed asserting that. Okay, that's interesting. Contains code snippet 1 in specific order. Okay, let's give this another look. We create 2 snippets, snippet 1 and snippet 2. Let's dump them out just real quick to give this a look. So we have code snippet 1. created at a specific time. Or maybe it's the same time. Okay, let's check. What do we have here? 3:15, 41, 42. 3:15, 41, 42. Okay, so I assume that we both have now the same timestamp, and that's why it's not working. To make sure it's about this, I'm just going to sleep for a second. This means, yeah, they are created at the same time, and that's why it's not working. I think what I can also do is, let's just define this ourselves. First one. I'll keep the second one at now and the first one to cells. Now, subday. Oh, I think subday would already work, right? Okay, nice, much better now. Adrian had this image here. That's always a good sign. Order code snippets and show latest first. Is there something we need to take care of? Solution is never used. Okay, let's get rid of this. Collection is never used. Okay, I don't see this one. All right, nice. Good. We also don't have a return type here. What are we thinking about? Return type do we need here for returning a field? Do we really need to add all of those? So what could we return? A view factory. Okay. Contract view. Application. So what I've been mostly using is just the contract view. I think it was this one. What are you guys using as a return type for your view files, where you're going to return a view? Do you always return all of those different types? I think, of course, it would be correct to use all of them, but actually I always return just a few. At least that's what my plan is. You don't return anything? No return type, Adrian? Is it really you? I'm now a little concerned if it is you. All right, here we are already getting to 2 hours. So let me check. Do we want to start something else? I don't think so. I think it's good for today. I think it's a good point to start here. And then maybe next time we're going to maybe do a little session about the designing stuff that we still have to do. What do we have here? Is also some nice to have. Copy snippet solution, some tags. Yeah, okay, there's still a ton of features that we could implement, but I think for the next stream we might do a little design session and just try to give everything a little bit of design, especially the forms, and try to make it look a little bit better so that we can hopefully release it soon. Okay, guys, I think that's it for today. If you still have any questions, let me know. I will give you a few more seconds. But if not, I think we're going to leave it here. And yeah, I say already, thank you very much, everybody, for watching again. I'm very glad that we made it for once under 2 hours, because I still have something else to do. Yeah, thanks, Benjamin, for the nice words. Oh my God. Sorry, Benjamin, I somehow blocked you. I was just bringing up your comment, but it seems I blocked you, and it says here, I blocked you for 5 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if I can undo this. It doesn't seem like I can do it. I'm very sorry, Benjamin. I hope it doesn't get written somewhere in your YouTube notes about that I blocked you, but I hope you're fine. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, all the others. It was fun again. I hope to see you next week on Monday again, where we continue working on this little platform. So have a nice day wherever and whenever you are, and see you the next time. Bye.